We're on finally. Yay! Okay, Lucy, I'm May once again, and you just landed from Hanoi.
Correct.
And you're flying back tonight to London.
Yeah, like 3 in the morning, I think we go.
That's a crazy schedule. Are you tired?
I'm kind of, no, I had a good night's sleep last night.
Okay.
So yeah, and being tired's all right, really, if you're doing exciting things.
All right, so this is not your first visit to Thailand. How often have you been here?
Once before, last November.
Last November, so a year ago. So you're back now again. And this time you're actually back with a brand new record called Something's Changed, right? Something's Changing. Can you tell us a little bit about why is it different from any other record that you had? Is it like more mature, this one, and more of like a timeless one? Because I've been listening to it, and I feel like this one is, the third album of yours is much more mature somehow.
Thank you. Well, that's good because I am getting older. So
Don't mean to say it.
no, it's
like
good. No, you'd hope that I was maturing my music was along with me. I think it's very different. I think it's the first time I've really embraced the kind of music that I want to make, which is, I guess, it's a slightly more folk and it's slightly more country than anything else that I made. And I think being younger and being 18 and starting and doing music, it's kind of, I think I maybe like shied away from it a bit. And didn't embrace it the same way, whereas this time I kind of got like all the pedal steel on, went for the proper Neil Young, old school 60s vibes where like all the instruments actually sounded like they're themselves, because sometimes things can get so processed in a computer and you can make it and it's stuff. So I was like, I think I just want to do a record where the drums actually sound like drums, real drums.
Raw, this one.
Yeah, it's really pretty raw. And that's it.
So this record is inspired by your trip to Latin America, is it?
Yeah.
How come?
I kind of, the story is best told in this kind of like short film that we're showing tonight, and every night we'll be showing it on the cinema tour. It shows, I guess, at the beginning of before I went on it, at the end of the second record, I kind of had lost my confidence in myself as a musician. And I kind of was thinking, you know, should I take the hint? I'm not very successful, and not many people know my music, so maybe it's time for me to give it a rest and try something different. So then I thought, finally, I was like, I'm going to go on traveling to Latin America, and I thought if this was going to be the end of me playing music, I should at least go and thank the fans that have been listening to me in different parts of the world before I do that sort of thing. So I went on this trip, and I was living with fans, and they booked my gigs, so it was like 40 people, and I could just never imagine what happened, which was not just like my faith was restored in myself, but
wonderful.
it was very good. But I had like way more fans than I realized I had. I think I was judging everything on like Facebook likes and stuff, but so it was kind of like a real turning point, and not just realizing I had fans. It was like I never thought that my music could have really affected someone as strongly as it did certain people that I met. So that really gave me purpose to carry on. It was like, it doesn't matter if it's only a few people who know my music. If it really feels like it's made a difference to them, then I should continue, sort of thing.
Oh, that's so nice. So actually, your music actually impacts a lot of people's life and, situations sometimes.
Do you think so?
I would believe so, right? Well, all your fans are kind of connecting to your music.
Yeah, I think it's different for different people on different levels. I was chatting to someone last night in Hanoi about it, and I was sort of saying quality over quantity. I think,
definitely.
I feel like I don't have a huge amount of fans, but the ones I do have, I think, are really quite amazing.
So I'm just curious, listening to your songs, who did you actually grow up listening to? Who like inspires you to be an artist yourself?
I think I just enjoyed playing music, and I think I was just listening to like regular stuff that was on the radio. I got advised when I started writing my own songs to listen to different things like Neil Young, Joni Mitchell, Joan Armatrading, Nick Drake, Tom Waits. I had this whole list that I should listen to, like classic singer-songwriters. And I think that is what's inspired me. I think I'm like kind of like an old lady when it comes to like
your soul is a bit
so potentially because I think everyone is like can be so interested in new sounds or electronic sounds and what's cool and what's current, but for me it was like I felt like the thing that was my ambition was to write sort of just songs without all of the busyness. It
Yeah.
just wanted something that was like really simple songwriting, which I think is like it's difficult, I think, but that's what I wanted to do.
Well, which I appreciate too. You're so refreshing to listen to because everything you write, the lyrics are, kind of like day to day where I can connect with, and I'm sure a lot of people can. And the music, like I just said before, it's so raw. Like you can hear everything so like crisp and clear. That's what I love about your music. Yeah, and your single "Not Good at All" is actually on our radio channel now. Yes. I would just like to ask you, what's the meaning behind this song, or what do you want to say, writing this song?
This one was the one that I'd written before I went on the trip, hence it's called No Good at All, which
Yeah.
is kind of how I felt about myself at the time.
Oh, okay.
It's
Yeah.
kind of, but at the same time I was kind of okay with it. I think
Yeah.
when I was younger I was like had all these huge dreams and ambitions of doing things, with my life and like we all do, and I think I was
Yeah.
reaching an age where I was like almost, it wasn't that I was sad that it wasn't happening, it was like an understanding and an acceptance, and I was fine with it in a way, and the kind of song was talking about maybe I wasn't, meant to do all those things that I dreamed of, but maybe further down the line, maybe my great granddaughter will have like a tiny bit of me in her, and she'll be able to do something kind of remarkable. Was kind of the idea of the song.
So it was like a crossroad for you, right? Like continue or just dip it and do something completely different.
Yeah, well, I felt like I'd always play music. It was just more of changing how I was going to do it. I thought I'll always play it for like my family. I'll always play it if I have kids. I'll play it and my guitar and play songs and stuff, and I'll play in my local pub, and it'll always be a huge part of who I am as a person. But it was maybe just like not giving myself such pressures and like changing the goalposts, which I definitely have done on this new record anyway, from like not being with a major deal. I'm managing myself.
Yeah.
Everything's totally different. I've taken all the pressures that was making music slightly confusing for me off, so now I just have like the happiness part of it, and it's much better, and it's easier to deal with it all.
So tonight is your show later on at 9 p.m. Do you have like a before show ritual that you do to calm yourself down, or do you still have stage fright, or do you just go happy-go-lucky on stage?
I definitely get nerves before I go on. Yeah. I've got them now. I feel a bit sick.
But it's kind of beautiful to still have this stage fright being an artist. That's how I would, see it. Because if you're like going on stage and you don't feel some kind of butterfly, I don't know, it's a bit too stale or...
I think because tonight's bigger, I'm nervous. When it's smaller and I'm playing, because I play a lot of songs acoustically as well, which, because the record is so like stripped back, like you said, sometimes I worry with a big crowd that it's hard to keep all of their attention,
Yeah.
I feel like if I have one person talking, it can just change the whole dynamic of the entire room from being focused. So I guess I get a little bit more nervous when the shows are bigger, because I feel like it's harder to keep everybody. But but also I guess the bigger shows can be the best as well at the same time.
Okay. All right, so last questions. What would you like to say to your Metsters? Our radio is Met 107, and like I just said, your song is actually on our chart. We're playing it on our radio station. Would you like to say something to your Thai fans and to our listeners, which are Metsters?
Yeah.
Would you like to...
Well, massive thank you for playing my music, because there's no way in a million years that I thought it would be played on radio.
It is on our chart, yes.
And if you're listening to it and you're supporting me, thank you, because for this type of music, those people who are supporting it are keeping it alive, because it's definitely not easy to make different genres of music nowadays, and it's becoming more and more narrow. So if you are one of those people that are supporting alternate types of music, thank you so much, because it is keeping a lot of different music alive that wouldn't be otherwise.
All right, Lucy Rose, I'm so happy to have this interview with you, and I will be seeing you later on at your show at 9 p.m. And thank you.